guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be decorating this folio together. So this is the folio that I created for the 1 hour crafting series. It is a 2-part tutorial, so I'm going to link those videos on the description box in case that you missed the video and then you want to make that folio before we start decorating here together. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add some paper, kind of show you a little bit of the process. Hopefully it won't be too repetitive, but yeah, so I got a lot of requests for decorating the book here, and that's what we are going to be doing. So I am going to be using this collection called Glamour by Authentic. It is an old collection, but I'm trying to use up the papers that I have on my stash, and I have a combination of 2 sets, but they're all kind of leftover pieces, so, and a lot of scraps. So hopefully we'll get enough paper to finish this folio. And so yeah, so the folio measures 8.5 by 6 inches. And I don't remember all the measurements for all the pages, so I'm gonna just measure and go over that with you here together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is add my magnets. So let me move these here to the side. So I'm going to be using 10 by 1 millimeter magnets, and if you're wondering where I get my magnets, I do have a link on the description box to my Amazon store, and there is a few options of magnets, of the magnets that I use in there. Okay, so I'm going to start adding just some glue where I'm going to be placing my magnets. So I'm also going to use double-sided tape to secure this in place. So I'm just going to put 3, and we're going to add some tape here. So I just have a little bit left of this tape, and let's cut a few pieces and place that right here. Okay, so we have the magnets, and I do like just kind of pressing and down around the magnet. And now we're just gonna add the magnets on top, and we are going to add glue right here. And when I close these, I want to make sure that my gaskets are perpendicular, so I'm just gonna pay attention to that, and then just close this flap. Okay, just about there, I think. Yeah. And then you're gonna get the glue mark here on the cardstock, so I'm just gonna hold it there for a second, and then we're going to open this up and just transfer the magnets where I have the glue. Okay, and then we're going to add the tape again. So I need 3 pieces here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that and that, and then we're going to secure these magnets, and that's gonna be the closure there. Okay, so now I'm just gonna continue adding magnets. So over here, this little flap will need a magnet, so we're going to add the magnet over here. So again, I'm just gonna do 1 and some tape. Let's add some tape, and I'm just gonna put that right there and add the magnet. And again, I'm just gonna place that and add a little bit of glue and just press on your tape. Okay, now this also opens down, so I'm going to add another little magnet over here. So I'm just gonna put 1 right there, and then we're going to add some tape, and then place the other magnet on top, and then you're gonna put your tape facing up and add a little glue, close this up, and now we're just going to press down on the tape. Okay, so that is all this side here. So this slides down and opens and opens, and then I don't need a magnet on this section here. I think we're okay with that. And even this one, the slides, I think we're okay because we are holding that with this, so it's not gonna slide. Okay, so now to this center we have a gatefold page, so we are going to be adding magnets here. So I'm just gonna put one on this side, just hold that, and then one on the other side right there, and then we're going to secure with the tape. Same thing here, and then we're going to add the magnets on top, and I'm just gonna add the glue and close this up. Okay, and then we're gonna put the magnets where we have the glue marks right there. Okay, and then we're going to add the tape here and press on the tape. Okay, so that's that side. Sometimes it repels when you, let me double check on this magnet right here. So one thing that is important to remember, which I probably didn't here, is this magnet could also repel because of that one right there. So let's make sure these two are the same way down. And now these two are okay, and now this is the one that I need to switch up. Okay, so when you have magnets close together, you kind of have to sometimes play with that. Okay, so now we're gonna go the other way around and then close this up and press down. Okay, and now we're gonna close and close. See, now they're not fighting against each other. So okay, so now we are going to this is a sliding page here. I can't remember which side it slides. Oh, there we go. So it slides to the left, and because I don't want this moving, I am going to be adding magnets here. So I'm going to start down. I think I'm going to start on this flap and just put a magnet on the center at the kind of like at the bottom here, so it doesn't conflict with our other magnets that we have at the center. Okay, so we're gonna put one right there, and we're going to add these. Now close the second level, and just on top of this flap, make sure those two are level, we're going to add the other magnet. So right there, and add the tape here again, and then we're going to close this top, and we're going to open that up and find that magnet down here. Okay, so now this page, it's not going to be kind of wobbling anymore that much. See, now they're all together as one unit. Now this whole thing opens down. Because this page is heavy, you might not even need a magnet up there, but I don't want it moving, so I'm just gonna add one magnet to prevent this from like moving side to side. So I'm just gonna put one right here, and we're going to add the tape and then place the other magnet and close these up right there. So you'll get the glue mark. Oh, and the magnet actually transfer. So we are just going to now add the tape. And there you go. Now let's see if we need any magnets anywhere else. I don't think we would, because everything else now is like under, or you know, on the inside. Now when you open this up, this kind of stays back, so you could add a magnet here to keep that from opening, because this whole thing opens down and it opens, let me remember here. Oh, this is a pocket. Oh, this is a sliding pocket. It's been a little bit, so I don't remember exactly what we did here. And then this opens up and this opens to the side. So here we have that sliding feature back here. Oop. Okay, so this slides and stays, so I don't need a magnet there. Might need a magnet on these. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put a couple magnets here. So I'm gonna do 2, because when you lift this up, I don't want that falling. So I'm gonna put 2 magnets and then add your tape, and then again 2 more magnets, and then we're going to add the glue and close this back there. Okay, and now we are going to transfer, so let me put this sideways. Okay, so we're gonna transfer these magnets here, and whoops, it's right there. Okay, and some tape. Okay, so that is gonna close up there. And now when you open this flap, it's not gonna fall like it was before. It's staying close. Okay, then this opens and this opens and this opens. I mean, yeah, I won't be needing any magnets here. These 2 also open. And now we're gonna close, and we are ready to start adding our paper. So we are going to start with the cover. So I'm just gonna look through what I have. I think this will be a good base for the cover. So we are going to cut these at 8 1/4. Okay. 8 1/4, and I'm going to do 1 piece by 5 3/4. So let's move this out, and 1 piece by 5 1/2. Okay. And the 5 1/2 piece is going to go on the front. So I'm just gonna add my glue, and I'm going to place this here. Okay, and then I'm going to put that other one on the back. Place that right there. Okay, and then we're gonna do 2 of those for the spine, but also I'm going to pick another design for this panel here. So I am going to maybe use this. I'm gonna use like a solid. I can probably use this black one right there to have a little contrast on that side. So we're going to cut 2 pieces. These are going to be 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm gonna do 2 so I can do 1 for the other side. Okay, so 5 1/2, and let's go ahead and open this up, and we're gonna put 1 on each side. Now if this is too dark, we can use the back. So let me see how that looks when you close this. Yeah, I think that's actually really cute. So I'm gonna do this side instead, and let's remove the tape. Let's take this out. There we go. And then we're just going to add the glue and place 1 here. And then we're going to do this other one. Okay, so again, let's add the glue. And place that here. So there you go. So whatever the size of the page is, I always take a 1/4 inch for the inside paper. So a 1/4 inch sideways and a 1/4 inch up and down. And okay, so now we are moving to the center, and I am going to be using this flower paper here. Or actually, okay, so I think I forgot. I do want a main feature for the front, which is going to be, of course, this gorgeous girl here. And I know I've done another folio using this collection, which I no longer have that folio, but I'm pretty sure I probably used that same image, so it might feel repetitive, but I love this image. I think it's so perfect here. I love it. Of course, we can use the little girls too, but we are just gonna go for this. And all I'm gonna do here to keep my folio pretty flat is I'm going to just back this up on some black cardstock. So let me take this out a little bit, and yeah, that would just be like a main image up there, and then I can add one of these. I love all these sentiments. They're so empowering. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go for this one. It says she needed a hero, so that's what she became. I love that quote. That's so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna put that, and let's cut this piece here. So I'm going to use some of my black cardstock that I have here, and I'm just gonna glue this down over here, and we're gonna make a little black outline. Okay, so place these, and let's take this out. Just gonna keep some black and some black there. Okay, so that's cute. And then for the sentiment, I am going to maybe do one of these. They're kind of too big. Okay, I need something small, but I will just go for this. I'm just gonna make it a little bit more narrow. So I'm gonna cut these here. And along the top. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna back this up also on black. So me see if this piece is big enough. Perfect. Okay, I do want to make this smaller though. Okay, sorry, it's taking a little bit here, but hopefully you're crafting alone and you're relaxing, enjoying a cup of tea or coffee. And let me know if you are working on a project. What are you working on? Also, let me know if you tried this folio. And I know it's been a while, so you probably, if you did it, you probably already decorated it. So hopefully I'm not too late. Or you can make a whole other one and have fun decorating it here again. Okay, so I do want to put these here. That looks cute if we line them up, right? Also, we could offset a little bit. I should have made this image just a little bit smaller. That also looks cute, but I am a center girly here, so I do need this to be at the center. I know it's a little boring, but that's just how my brain works. So we're gonna glue this down, and I'm just gluing this flat on this folio. I do want this folio to open flat, but also folios are such a great opportunity to collect your pictures, and it will fit a lot of pictures, but they're so easy to store on your bookcase. So I kind of love seeing my folios as books, basically, like side to side, you know, and you can label the sides here and see what pictures you have, because you know we love our mini albums, but to be honest, I'm running out of house space. So I sometimes want to make just something flat to be able to store this better. Okay, so that is the cover. It's very simple. Now you could add some lace, you can add flowers, because this piece actually goes to the side, and you will still be able to lay your folio pretty flat, now that I think about this a little more. So we could embellish more and add flowers, and just make it really girly and really pretty. So we'll see. Okay, so let's go back to this side over here. So back to the gatefold page, I do want to put my flowery paper here. So this gatefold is about 7.5, and I think this is by, well, each side is by 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut, let's clean up in here a little bit. So I am going to cut my paper. So I'm going to use this one, and we're going to cut this at 7.25. 7.25 and by 2.5. Okay, so 2.5. And actually I'm gonna cut it from here because I feel like I will use this big piece. So 7.25 by 2.5. Okay, so I love this cutter because you can lock it here. It's so easy to lock on the side. Okay, so let's open this up and glue this down. Okay, so we have again 1 and 2. So I'm just gonna put 1 here, and let's do this one. Perfect. Now this piece here is 5 by 8.5. So we are going to cut this big piece now at 4 3/4 by by 8.25. And we can place that here. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and open this up and add this piece on this side. And we're gonna place this paper down. So decorating a folio or a mini album is a really relaxing process. For me, it's just a little bit long. It takes a little time. I don't, like rushing the process. So this is gonna be a 4x3 piece. And so because it does take a long time, it's kind of hard to record the whole process because, storage on my phone and uploading. I don't want to bore you with this also. So I'll probably just be decorating a little bit and then doing a walkthrough at the end. So I'm going to cut this piece at 3x4 so we can fit that on that little section there. So I'm just gonna pull it out, and then this is gonna go right there. So cute. So we're just gonna add this piece here. Look at that, so cute. And then this opens down, of course. Okay, so back to these. I do want to cover the inside because I want to cover all of these magnets. So the piece for the back is 5 3/4 by 7.5. So I'm just gonna use this black piece, and this is gonna be 7 1/4 by 5.5. Okay, so we're just gonna place that, and that is going to be on the inside here. So let's remove all of this tape, and we're going to add glue, and I'm just going to place that at the center. There we go. Now for the sides, I could use the same color, but I do want to create a little bit of contrast. So I'm going to go to my scraps here. So let's open this up. Take this out, and as you can see, I do save a lot of my scraps here. This will be cute to put on the center. And oh, look at that, that's a perfect piece. And now I just need to find a matching color. Perfect. So I can use that. Let's see if I have a smaller piece for that. No, but that is perfect. So I'm gonna put this, I'm actually gonna keep that here. You can see how it also starts getting pretty messy. So I usually work on 2 tables when I'm adding paper. I have one table where I'm just cutting, and then I have another table where I just have all the, where either I do all the paper gluing or I just keep all the scraps. But it's a lot easier to work on 2 tables. Or if I didn't have the tripod, I could expand a lot more on this table here too. Okay, so we're just gonna glue these 2 pieces down and take that out. And then we are going to add the glue. Place one here. See, like I really love the contrast of the blue with the black, and place that one over here. And then this piece that I found, I think it will be really pretty right there, so I'm just gonna cut it a little bit smaller. And then we can even add these as a little pockets. Oh, I'm gonna make it smaller. So I'm just gonna cut these. And I do wanna center it, so I'm gonna take it from both sides. And now I'm ready to place that piece here. And so I'm just gonna glue the sides and leave the top open, so it could also be a little pocket right here. Okay, and there you go. And that's gonna be there. Now here at the center I could also add an image, so we could put this one right there. So I'm going to just cut these. Let's take these out. And I'm gonna take these out. And then we're going to cut that. So I'm gonna make it smaller. And then we're going to back this up on some black. I have a little piece here, so I'm gonna make it smaller so I can use my scraps and I don't have to cut a whole new piece of cardstock for that. So perfect. And we are just going to glue this down. Place that right there. And then we can take out the extra. And same thing here. Okay, a little more on this side. Okay, and now we can put these at the center of our gatefold. So we're only gonna glue these on one half. And just place that right in there. So cute. And okay, so now the sliding, I'm not gonna add paper. Oh, I keep forgetting which way this goes. I wonder if maybe when I decorated the book I did it wrong. I think I decorated it the other way, but that's okay, it doesn't matter, right? But I think this is how it should have been. Yeah, I think so, but I mean, it doesn't matter which way, but because my brain always thinks about pulling things to the right, I keep pulling it the other way. So either way it works. So as you can see it works. But here we go. So in the tutorial, if you see things go in the different direction, it's because I am decorating it basically upside down at this point. But that's okay, we're just gonna continue here. So this back page, it's also 5 3/4 by 7 1/2. So I'm just gonna find one big solid piece for that. And I think this one will be cute. So let's cut this at 7 1/4. Okay, so let's take these out. And this is going to be, I'm gonna start with 5 1/2 first. Okay, by 7 1/4. And let's add this piece back here. Okay, so let's again remove the tape. Take this out. I am going to glue these and place that right up here. Okay, now we open that up, and then we have these two pieces, and this will be placed for picture, but you can of course add some of that. So these back pieces here are 4 by, is it 5? It's 4 by 5.5. Okay, so we are going to cut, I'm gonna use this here, and we're gonna cut 2 pieces at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and let's do the same for using this 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and let's open these and place these 2 here. Okay, so we are just going to add the glue, and I love this design. It kind of looks like a quilted pillow. And open this here and add this piece back there. Okay, and then of course this will be placed for picture, but sometimes it's good to have something to look at before. And now this piece is going to be 4 3/4, and then this is also by 4. So we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4.5 by 3 3/4, and I want to see if let's see here, I use some of our scraps, and this will be perfect for that. So I'm going to cut these at 3 3/4, and then by 4.5. I think, right? 4.5. Let's see if that is the right size. Yes. And then we're just going to glue this down. Okay, and now we have this and done. Oh, this one feels a little bit longer, so let's see what this is. I think I made this one too long. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna glue those right there. Okay, so back here, this is also the same 7.5. So I'm going to use these and cut these at 5.5 by 7.25. Okay, and then that is going to go on this page there. So let's add the glue, and there you go. Okay, so we have that. Now up here, this is that sliding pocket. These measures, the pocket is 5 by 7. So let's close this up and let's pick another page so we can go back to this blue here, and I am going to cut these at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Okay, and so this is going to go on that pocket, but before I glue that, we can probably add another image here. So I wonder if this is a little bit too big. We can repeat the image that we have on the cover. That will be a good place for that. So I am just going to cut these here. And take this out. Okay. And then I'm gonna put this right right at the center. And I'm not gonna add black cardstock border to not add extra bulk. This is just gonna go right on the page, just like that. And then we can bring this back and glue this down. And there we go. Okay, so that is that. And there you go. So that is gonna be that top side. So when you open it, you have more of that pretty design, and this matches that, which I love. And now we're just gonna open this up and do the inside center. So another large section here. So again, this is going to be 5.5 by 7. And I'm gonna continue with that blue page here, and we're going to cut these at, I think I have enough here, so 5.25 by 6.75, and then we will put this at the center. Place that. And then these two flaps are 4.25 by 6, I think, and a quarter too. So we're going to need 2 pieces of 4 by 6. I don't know if this will be big enough, but I do have another one. Oh, I don't know if this will be big enough either. Let's see if this one will be big. I need this piece to be 4. Okay, not big enough, but let's see if I have the same, because I do want this color to match here. So let me see if I have that on my scraps. Perfect. I have another big one of those. And then this is probably not big enough. I always try to, of course, use the smaller piece possible for that. And these ones are too small. Oh, this might work. Okay, so let's see. See? Now over here I can fit both from this piece. So 2 pieces of 4 by 6, and that should be 6. There we go. Perfect. So we're just gonna bring these up. Oops, okay. And this is why I love doing this on 2 tables, because it just gets very crowded over here on the table. Very messy, and hopefully this is not stressing you out. Okay, so we're gonna put those here. Okay, so now all of the inside, I do like decorating per sections, as you can see. So now these coordinate and match, and I will probably try to find 2 pieces of cardstock that can go on the back there. And I'm thinking hopefully we have some of this blue, right? So that makes a pretty contrast. And let's see if I have more of that, because I do want that color here. Okay, looks like I have a full page for that, so that's perfect. And this piece on the back, it's 4.5 by 8.25. So we will need 2 pieces at 4.25 by 8. So I'm gonna start with this one, and we're gonna do 4 1/4 here by 8. Okay, and let me just make sure I don't have another one of those here. Okay, so now we're gonna do another one. I'm gonna cut this piece, and again 4 1/4 by 8. Right. And then we are just going to glue these. I don't need magnets here because all of this is going to close. Okay, so we're just gonna add that over there. Now the back, you can leave it blank and just put a 4x6 picture, or you can add another 4x6 piece of cardstock there. And now I'm going to add another one here. Okay, and then for the back, so we're not too matchy, I'm going to add maybe another color. So I do need a bigger piece to put back here. I'm thinking these, but also I think I'm gonna go for that, like the script, just to kind of break off from that blue. So I'm going to measure my spacing up here. So this is about 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut these at 5 3/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, so 5 3/4 because the back is 6. Okay, by 3 1/4, and we are going to open, and then this piece is going to go back here. So again, you can use the flowers, or we can use the script. So I think I like the script for this background a little more. Now I don't like how we can see kind of like the edge right there. So instead of going 5 3/4, I'm going to cut it smaller so everything is even. So let me cut these actually at 5 1/2 right here. Okay, and yeah, I don't even know if you can see on the video, but I rather just when I close these don't see that little corner. I can still kind of see it there, but if I move this to the left, then I won't see it. Okay, there we go. And let's just glue this down, and there we go. So that's gonna go back there, and again I do see it, but there you go. So just move it off to the side. And now when you open here, we have that 3D pop-up page, so that will be a good place to just use some scraps. So this seems to be perfect, so I'm just gonna take out these little bits up on the top. And so this is about 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then maybe I can use one of these images from the cut apart there. Yeah, that can go right at the center. That will be cute. And then I will just need another one. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that now at 5 3. I'm just gonna use this. Let me see which one. From time to time when I'm crafting, I like to make piles because now you can find the pieces, the sizes that you need, the colors that you kind of want. Just kind of like doing a mental little inventory here of your scraps, and you'll be like, oh, I have the perfect size for that. I do that a lot. Okay, and then see, I could use these for little photo mats, and I know I want to save these, and all of the rest can go. And now we feel a little bit more organized. Okay, and now all of these is gonna go back to the pile that I'm using. And so back to this, I'm going to cut this piece at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And now we are ready to glue that here. So I'm gonna use the flowery paper and then put this on the top. Okay. Place that. And then we're gonna put that on top. And then I'm not adding a magnet here, but you could add a magnet there if you wanted to. And then just another one on this side. And then you will need 2 more for that, and then 1 for the center. So I will do all of that off camera, and you can even add another display here, but this will be a pretty place for a picture also. So we're just going to close all of that. Now this one also opens down, right? So remember to decorate that, and it also opens up, so we have quite a lot of places still to go. But I hope that this video was helpful to you, and hopefully you were decorating together with me. Let me know if you made this folio. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I can definitely do more decorating with me in videos, or adding the paper, so that we can kind of craft together as we finish up our projects. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.